Finally, let's take a look at network security process. Process of network security process. The process of information security is a continual process comprised of 5 key phases: assessment, policy, implementation, training, audit. Let's take a look at the policies and procedures. Many organizational policies and procedures are relevant to security. Examine all such documents during an assessment, including the following: security policy, information policy, disaster recovery plan, incident response procedure, backup policy and procedures, employee handbook or policy manual. Let's take a look at precautions. Precautions are the just-in-case systems that are used to rest or operations when something bad happens. The two primary components of precautions are backup systems and disaster recovery plans. When assessing the usefulness of the backup systems, the investigation should go deeper than just looking at the backup policy and procedures. Interview system operators to understand how the system is actually used. The assessment should cover questions such as: what backup system is in use? What systems are backed up and how often? Where are the backups stored? How often are the backups moved to storage? Have the backups ever been verified? How often must backups be used and how it failed? Now, let's take a look at administrative security. Administrative security practices are those that fall under the areas of policies and procedures, resources, responsibility, education, and contingency plans. These measures are intended to define the importance of information and information systems to the company and to explain that importance to the employees. Administrative security practices also define the sources required to accomplish appropriate risk management. Staff skills. Security department staff should have the following skills: security administration policy development, architecture, research, assessment, audit. Education. The education of employees is one of the most important parts of managing information security risk. Without employee knowledge and commitment, any attempts at managing risk will fail. Best practices recommend that education take 3 forms. Number 1, preventative measures. Number 2, enforcement measures. Number 3, incentive measures. Click on each card to learn more. Preventative measures. Preventative measures provide employees with details about protecting an organization's information resources. Employees should be told why the organization needs to protect its information resources. Understanding the reasons for taking preventative measures will make them much more likely to comply with policies and procedures. Enforcement measures. As employees complete security awareness training, they should be provided with copies of the relevant policies and asked to sign a statement saying that they have seen, read, and agree to abide by the organization policy. Incentive measures. One method that can be used to increase the reporting of security issues is an incentive program. The incentives do not have to be large. In fact, it is better if the incentives are of little monetary value. Employees should also be assured that such reporting is a good thing and that they will not be punished for reporting issues that fail to pan out. Network segments. Over the past few years, there has been a heavy integration of network technologies, which has created highly unified and global network architecture. Yet, business, commercial, and military requirements demand segregation of network segments into authorized domains or network segments. The boundaries of such network segments are established by devices capable of regulating and controlling the flow of packets into and out of the segment include the following: routers, switches, hubs, bridges, multi-homed gateways. Network segments. These segments can be theoretically classified into the following: Number 1, public networks. Number 2, semi-private networks. Number 3, private networks. Let's look at each in detail. Number 1, public networks. Public networks allow accessibility to everyone. The common internet is a perfect example of a public network. On public networks, there is a huge amount of trivial and unsecure data. Users normally pay for public network services, and security controls on these networks are weak. Number 2 is semi-private networks. These networks sit between public networks and private networks. From a security standpoint, a semi-private network may carry confidential information, but under some regulations. Semi-private networks are most often exclusive subnets of large public networks, such as the Internet. Number 3, private networks. Private networks are organizational networks that handle confidential and proprietary data. Each organization at every geographical location may own a private network. If the organization is spread over vast geographical distances, the private networks present at each location may be interconnected through the common internet or other public networks. Here's a question for you. Which of the following network is an organizational network? Is it private network, public network, semi-private network, or semi-public network? Practice. Let us now practice all that you have learned about network security. Visit few websites of leading IT companies and you are required to do the following. Find out which type of network security they have implemented. Find out what type of firewall is used in their organization. Go through the policies and procedures implemented regarding network security. Here's a case study. Scott is appointed as the networking head of Syssoft, a data processing company. The company deals with confidential data and financial details of employees of various organizations. Number 1. What points should Scott keep in mind while drafting the networking policies and procedures? Number 2. How can he create an awareness among employees about cyber attacks and network security? Let's summarize. Networks can be broadly classified as using either a peer-to-peer or client or server architecture. Network security consists of the policies and practices adopted to prevent and monitor unauthorized access, misuse, modification, or denial of a computer network and network accessible resources. Home Area Network (HAN), a network contained within a user's home that connects a person's digital devices. A DOS attack is also an attack on systems resources, but is launched from a large number of other host machines that are infected by malicious software controlled by the attacker. SQL injection has become a common issue with database-driven websites. It occurs when a malefactor executes a SQL query to the database via the input data from the client to the server. A network security policy primarily helps in protecting a computer network from network security threats, both internal and external, from the organization or the network. Hardware security is vulnerability protection that comes in the form of a physical device rather than software that is installed on the hardware of a computer system. Glossary. Click on each alphabet to learn more. N. N stands for network. Network in computing is a group of 2 or more devices that can communicate. In practice, a network is comprised of a number of different computer systems connected by physical and/or wireless connections. T. T stands for topology, the geometric arrangement of a computer system. Common topologies include a bus, star, and ring. T also stands for transport layer. This layer provides transparent transfer of data between end systems or hosts and is responsible for end-to-end error recovery and flow control. M. M stands for man-in-the-middle attack. A MIT-M attack occurs when a hacker inserts itself between the communications of a client and a server. Here are some common types of man-in-the-middle attacks: session hijacking, IP spoofing, replay. F. F stands for firewall. Firewall is the first step to provide security to the computer. It creates a barrier between the computer and any unauthorized program trying to come in through the internet. If you are using a system at home, turn on the firewall permanently. It makes you aware if there are any unauthorized efforts to use your system. W. W stands for Web Application Security. It is the process of securing confidential data stored online from unauthorized access and modification. Congratulations! You have successfully completed the course on Network Security. The course is presented to you by managementstudyguide.com. Become a Management Study Guide Premium member and get access to more than 180 courses. We add new courses every week. Thank you for participating. This is Payal.